now. All right, create broadcast. I got off a call with a very very happy user, a very curious user, and got tons of feedback. And I'm rethinking some of the UI and design right now to make it to evolve the product basically. So we're streaming about this today. Cool. So we're streaming about these today, and I'll do okay. So let me just repost these from the community perspective. Applying user feedback. All right. Okay, two things that we're doing and that I want to do today. I know we are working on the GHC stuff, but I think that kind of like it's important that we step back a bit and look at and I'm going to tell you now why I have this open. And let's look at I think I think I'm trying to think which is the best UI to do some which is the best tool to do some UI brainstorming, and we can try Grok. So we can try Grok, and we can try as well Gemini, because I think Nano Banana actually does some good stuff in terms of the UI. But I'm also thinking about just simply using Claude, because it's just good at UI, I think. But let's see. So there's a few things that I want to do, right? So let's open a Google Docs. On one side, there's already an ongoing redesign on the planner view, where I'm making it a bit more social, shareable, and where there's going to be like a nice image and stuff like this, right? You know, the plan mode now, essentially when you're in plan mode, and let's open that and openLesson here. Do I have localhost open? I think I have localhost open. So I mean, first things first, I think this makes a lot of sense. I think, to be honest, I think what people want is the plan mode, and I feel pity that, because I think everyone that I talk to, they're like, oh, that's exactly what I needed. So I think I need to reverse this. I think I need to focus on plan mode and make learning and agentic a bit more second nature. So I think I need to make basically these more front and center. So have the plan pre-selected. You can do YouTube videos, and then have some examples of stuff to do. Because this is definitely poor here. Paste image, like it has some recipes in here. So I think that's the first thing. I mean, this is definitely ongoing, but then there's a few design changes that are needed, or UX changes that are needed, and this. So definitely make plan the default mode. Add easy recipes. but not too cluttered. So an easy one is basically code base, YouTube videos. We know these. I mean, we could do even things like singing practice, you know what I mean? No, but something that is more like, yeah, like a whiteboard maybe. Sales speech, you know? Maybe add something a bit more like, I don't know. I have to think about cool examples that I can, because there's tons you can do here, and this is just very and maybe just have example prompts, you know what I mean? I think that's important as well. Example prompts with modifiers, right? So this is for sure to kind of like make it more obvious what this is about. So that's for sure important. Now let's just pick maybe let's just pick one of these videos, right? Vectors, right? And let's do a month and let's generate these. So I think I maybe need a nicer transition to the analyzing. Some I think that's just, you know. So essentially this is plan mode, right? Make pretty transitions for longer loading screens. It's good because it's gonna make the process less error prone, because now I can accidentally click somewhere and change and do weird things, right? So I want to, and the YouTube videos actually take quite a while, unless it crashed for some reason. No, okay, and now it loads the plan. We have the video here, so we know we need to. I need to make that. I need to redesign that. I need to make that somehow more about the session themselves, and sort of make the planner a bit more, yeah. I mean, that's good. I'm happy with these, but it's not pretty, right? And you then don't. It's probably as well complicated. It's like you don't know what the planning prompt here is. Custom instructions for your session, preview session. And I think I want start lesson in simple mode. And I think this is definitely something that I need to design. So we need to do a simple mode option for direct lesson. Or just, yeah, simple mode, exactly. Slash option from planning view. And that's this is where we need to talk about these now. Because those are some work that we need, some serious work that we need to put into these. So here there's a lot to do, right? And this is where I want to make like a nice header image in here. Make it easy, make it just more, fancy, so to say. That I'd like to be able to do more here. What was interesting about the feedback I got from this user now is that they ended up inside a lesson, they ended up using more the teaching assistant, and they had no idea what the monitoring option was about. And that makes me think, because I guess not everyone's it's going to want to do the student monitoring thing. But it's, yeah, I don't know. It got me thinking a lot about the tools. Simple mode. And about whether these tools make sense. The canvas makes sense. The notebook makes sense. I'm not so sure this is needed. Let's put it this way, right? I think we need to write down a few things. So There is definitely one of the things I notice is what people like. People like the fact that it gives you structure. People like the fact that it gives you structure, not content. The fact that it's hard to get answers, pokes you back with questions instead. Not obvious. Think aloud protocol. Like, it's not obvious that you have to start thinking out loud. Even you know, but a solution could be a tutorial, obviously, right? Video explainer, some sort of like, it's not obvious that that's kind of the default mode. You don't have to really. You can just basically be silent, and just have audio as optional, and just be silent and type in, right? I mean, maybe that's kind of like something that it's we do want the thing is we do want people to think out loud. I think we have to be a bit more opinionated about these. We do want people to think out loud while they talk, because it's about gathering this data. We cannot forget about this. We do want people to think aloud. So that's not going to be a tool that is obviously good for everyone. We do want you to think aloud when you're using this. So I mean, this is definitely way too complex. It's not obvious. It's advanced mode, and advanced mode has to stay, right? But it can be more take a tour. So I would say definitely take a tour or watch a video. Take a tour or watch a video. I think that is definitely what's important here. I think so. This is plan mode. Then we have session mode. Session mode. And I think we need basically a show me around feature. Watch a video. Watch a video explainer. I'm not too much of a big fan of these features because I think they end up creating more problems sometimes. But it's it's definitely. I mean, here there's some translation missing. That's the problem. Okay. But it is not obvious. I mean, that's going to be a hard one. That's going to be hard to design. So we've got, but the two views I care the most about are this one and this one, right? So we have it gives you structure, not content. The fact that it's hard to get answers. People actually, so the user that I was talking to used the chat because the chat was more visible before. So when you start a session, the chat is what this person used, right? And it was actually good feedback that I got from that. It was definitely good feedback. Although I'm not so sure that's the experience I want to focus on, the assistant itself. It's a teaching assistant, right? So it's more about like asking questions about the topic as well, but the tool, I don't know. I want to keep both. I have to keep both, but I have to make it. Yeah, that's definitely a back. You see, I think this is a back. I'm getting duplicated probes. Anyway, um, I think for now I have to get rid of the rack matches. I think that's confusing. We'll definitely bring this back later as a feature. But I think I have to hide the feature for now. Session mode, show me around feature, watch a video explainer, plan mode, make plan the default mode, add easy recipes, but not too cluttered for sure. Let's think about the simple mode. Let's think about what simple mode would mean. We need a tutorial mode. You know what? We need a tutorial. I mean, we need a tutorial mode. This is actually maybe that's the right way to approach these. Maybe that's the right way to approach these. Even force people into that. Simple mode. Should we call it tutorial mode? I think maybe that even kills these. I think that even kills these. You know what I mean? The first time you get into the system, you actually have to do a tutorial mode. Tutorial mode, skippable. And you pick from from 3 topics. And you tell people you gotta be in a room. Yeah, let's design tutorial mode. I think we'll call it tutorial mode. Yeah. Tutorial mode. And it's gonna feel a bit more gamified for sure. Feels a bit like a game tutorial. And it's something that you do. I'm not so sure whether it's when you start your first session or even when you sign up. That's tricky because the planner is cool. And by the way, tutorial mode, and I also had this idea of like a warm-up mode for the social media addicts. Warm-up mode, which basically shows you a TikTok, like a sort of a scrollable. Yeah, but that's more like for your phone. Warm-up mode, scrollable topic cards, inspirational images. It puts you in this. It kind of like helps you. You know, it puts you in a bit into the zone. You know. It puts you into the zone. I think that is important. Warm-up mode, plan mode, session mode. It's simple mode is tutorial mode. Should we call it tutorial mode? Skippable. Feels a bit like a game, like a game tutorial. And I think it should have. It should be very simple. It should be a very simple version of these, where you have a curated section of like questions or topics, and you kind of have to talk out loud. I will probably need to wrap up in 10 minutes. I'm just listening so the kid is not, my baby's not crying. I almost want to prompt an AI with these, I think. Simple mode. I think it's a version of these. And I think tutorial mode. I think tutorial mode should make it obvious. That you must speak out loud. You can draw, annotate. You can share your screen. I think it has to make these three things obvious. Because that's ideally what you want to do. We can leave muse and all this kind of stuff out of the picture as well. So and it's gotta be like user can pick from 3 topics. One technical, one. I mean, it should just be, yeah, it should be 3 topics. It should be like, yeah, I don't know. Let's think about the topic specifically, but it should highlight the potential of kind of, you know, what you're interested in, right? So one is more technical, one is more humanities, philosophy maybe, and one is more physical, real world. You know what I mean? Like, I want to learn jiu-jitsu. I want to improve my drawing skills. I think that's a good one. Something like these, right? And I think it should be a somehow connected to how the should be simple, but still feel connected to the ILE later on, right? And that's the goal. I think it's going to be a minimal version of the student monitoring without all the bells and whistles of manual mode and, you know, complete and all the different questions, tags and stuff, and archive. It should just be something. It's an experience where, and it's got to be on your laptop. I think this cannot be right now mobile. It's gonna be desktop, and it has to be. I think it's got to be. Give me. Let's ask Gemini. Let's ask Grok. Give me a much more simple version of this interface. Let's something I can use as a tutorial for a new user that is essentially an independent design, but still helps the user build a connection to that more complex interface. And we'll ask Google AI Studio as well. Let's see what it comes back with. But I think it's gonna do. It's gonna be something like these. I'm envisioning an interface, and that's the desktop screen. I'm envisioning something that is very distraction free, and that it has that is maybe scrolling down. And something where there's definitely like a microphone here. Or there's like 3 buttons maybe. There's a microphone thing here. And it's not an it's microphone. Similar to the interface we used to have initially, I have the feeling. But more like, I don't know, I'm blank. I'm like, I'm just thinking whether it's a single thread of things, you know? Or whether it's 2. Maybe when you click in one of those, then this whole thing oh, what the heck? Did this just destroy? Yeah. Maybe then this whole thing here gets, displaced on the side with this one like highlighted, and then there's basically a bunch of other questions that appear here. And that is more like either scripted. It should feel more scripted. Like, it should feel more scripted. But it has to be very almost like hand design. And then it's got to be, yeah, at some point, then you have these, then you have, what do we say? So here you're going to have different icons that will appear or disappear maybe. Oh, God. So you can have like this probably will be something like a mic, like a brush, and like a screen share, which is more advanced. And then, you know, these might just be only enabled here. Here is going to be the brush enabled, maybe. You know what I mean? Something like this. It's getting already a little complicated. Let's see what Google said. Okay, yeah. Okay, not bad. Like the timeline. I like the timeline in a way of these. Okay, I like that. What did Grok say? Oh, this is awful. Manual mode? No, I don't want any of the manual mode. Current task, canvas notebook. No, this is too much. This is too much. I think I want something like this, where it's a very simple UI. And the concept is, again, you get the person to go through the tutorial first. I don't know exactly when. Maybe when onboarding, right? So, I mean, you want the user to do a tutorial first. And then you want the user to be able to just jump into the system. So, yeah, I have the feeling, sadly, that I need to change the landing page. Although I want people to be able to just start learning right away. And then to be more actionable, right? So plan topic. How does Calcom look like? No, you have right away the calendar sign up. It's basically the sign up, but you have features. Okay. Yeah, I have to wrap it up, guys. Here, I need to do some. I need to think about these carefully, because I definitely want to build a few improvements in this area. Steps on the site make sense. The tutorial mode makes sense because we need to start with microphone. We need to make it clear to the user that they have to speak out loud, but it has to be a very curated experience, right? So it's going to be some specific topics. I cannot let the user choose whatever. And it's going to be something like this, so that it introduces them to only the notions of the steps and the probes. These three concepts: talk, think out loud, steps, and probes. I'm going to wrap it up, guys. See you tomorrow.